All right, let's dive right into one of life's biggest questions. Why do we suffer? Today, we're going to break down a really powerful idea about where our dissatisfaction actually comes from and uncover a way to deal with it that's, well, it's surprisingly simple, but also incredibly profound. I mean, think about it. You know the feeling, right? You land the dream job, you get the perfect relationship, you buy the house, and for a minute, everything is awesome. But then, sure enough, that old familiar feeling starts to creep back in, that little nagging sense that you need something more. And that feeling, that's not just you. That's a universal human thing, and it's the absolute key to everything we're about to talk about. So where does this constant wanting even come from? Well, here's the thing. It's not a personal flaw. It's actually baked right into our design as human beings. See, deep down, we all have these two powerful and kind of competing forces at play. On one hand, you've got your basic survival instinct. Food, shelter, safety, the stuff every single creature on the planet is wired for. But then there's this other thing. This thing that's totally uniquely human. It's this deep, deep longing to just expand, to become something more, something limitless. And this is where we get ourselves into trouble. This is the big trap. We feel this infinite, boundless desire inside us. But how do we try to satisfy it? With finite things. A bigger paycheck, a fancier car, another promotion. It's literally like trying to count to infinity by going 1, 2, 3. You are never gonna get there. It's a totally endless and, let's be honest, super frustrating process, all because we're using completely the wrong tools for the job. So that huge mismatch between our infinite desire and our finite methods, it leads us directly to the experience we all call suffering. It's not some random event, it's the direct consequence of making this one fundamental mistake in how we approach our lives. The source material we're looking at today uses this really powerful, kind of blunt metaphor for this whole situation. Imagine that longing to expand is like a massive river, just meant to flow. But what we do is we try to block it, forcing it through these tiny little channels of physical things. And, well, you know what happens when you block a river. You get a serious blockage. So this constipated longing is really just a striking way to describe that feeling of being stuck. It's that endless hamster wheel of wanting something, getting it, and then feeling kind of hollow again. Why? Because a finite physical thing can never, ever satisfy an infinite non-physical desire. It's just not possible. And this just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It shows that suffering has literally nothing to do with our external situation. It's not about what you have or what you don't have. The poor suffer, the rich suffer, people with kids, people without them. If you're a success, you suffer. If you're a failure, you suffer. The mechanism is exactly the same for everyone because it's an inside job, 100%. Okay, so this brings us to the real culprit. If our life circumstances aren't the actual problem, then what is? The answer is pretty surprising, mainly because it turns out to be one of our greatest gifts. Think about all the time and energy we spend trying to fix the outside world. We're totally convinced that if we can just get everything lined up perfectly, then we'll finally be happy. But what if the source of the problem isn't out there at all? What if it's much, much closer to home? And there it is. The real source of our misery is our own intelligence, but only when it's not under our control. Our incredible mind, the very thing that lets us innovate and create amazing things, can also become a 24/7 misery-producing machine if we don't know how to handle it. Get this number, 72. That's how many different kinds of psychological ailments top psychiatrists have identified. 72. And that covers the whole range, from really severe depression all the way down to minor compulsions like, well, compulsive nose-picking. But here's the kicker. They're all just different flavors of the exact same root problem, our own intelligence turning against us. So if the problem is our brilliant but untrained mind just running wild, what's the solution? Well, it's not about fighting it. It's about introducing a completely different element into the equation. Let me use a really simple but powerful analogy here. Imagine you're standing in a pitch black room. What do you do to get rid of the darkness? Do you start swinging at it? Do you try to shovel it out the window? Of course not. That would be absurd. And right here is the aha moment. You cannot fight suffering or stress or anxiety directly. That's like fighting darkness. It's a completely useless battle that you'll never win. The only way to get rid of darkness is to introduce light. The second you flip that switch, poof, the darkness is gone. It wasn't actually a thing to begin with. It was just the absence of light. So, that light is consciousness. And don't let that word intimidate you. It's not some complicated philosophy. It is simply the ability to see life just as it is, without all the stories, the judgments, and the drama that our minds love to spin. When you can see clearly, you can navigate any situation. And this brings us to what is honestly the most empowering part of this whole idea. Because when you really get this, you get access to a kind of power that is uniquely human. Just look at this contrast. Any other creature on this planet is just an instinctive reaction to its environment. Its life is about survival. For an animal, a full stomach means life is settled, problems are solved. But for a human being, a full stomach is just the beginning. That's when we invent 100 new problems. And that's all because we have this incredible, unique ability to consciously create our internal experience, no matter what's happening outside. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Every other creature is made by its surroundings. It doesn't have a choice. But a human being can be self-made. You have the power to determine the quality of your own life from the inside out. So the only real question left is, what are you choosing?